Hello everyone, my name is Casey Newsom and I will be going over my Tableau assignment. So I'm going to get right into it. So basically this particular graph here is the company demography. It's split by gender and job role. So as you can see, there are way more males than females that work with this particular company. Because looking at comparing both charts and seeing like who holds the most job roles, looks to me like every position that's here, men are dominant in all of them. So that's why I came to the conclusion to say that more men work for this company than women as far as job roles. And then the next one, we're going to go into gender-based relationships. So gender-based relationship between performance rating and work-life balance. So as you can see, the performance rating and work-life balance for a male is higher than that of a female. Because if you notice, the performance rating for a female is 1,858, where the work-life balance is 1,625. In a male, it's 2,778 for performance rating, and work-life balance is 2,434. So you can say it kind of almost doubles, but it doesn't necessarily double. It's reaching 1,000, but it's not exactly 1,000. And then the relationship between attrition and years with current manager. So attrition was kind of difficult to understand, but when I made the conclusion that when you're a worker and you're starting, the attrition number is higher, whereas when you've been with the company, when you've been with that manager for 14 years, the attrition number is lower. So usually when you're a newcomer and a manager is leaving, your attrition number is much higher. Whereas when you spend 14 years with the current manager, your attrition number gets lower. And then of course you and that manager develop a relationship, a manager-associate relationship. And then the relationship between attrition and number of companies worked with. So this one, it's kind of self-explanatory. If you notice, so basically if whatever job role has worked for one particular company, the attrition number looks to be higher. But it all depends on the job role, because a lab tech, it says here, a lab tech says that attrition number is 31, whereas when you go into a manufacturing director, the attrition number is 3. And a research scientist is 19, and then you have a research director, which is neutral. It gets neutral like in the middle around here. But then you notice that the more number of companies worked by the job role, the more companies, the attrition gets kind of lower. The numbers begin to change, but this chart tends to fluctuate a little bit more depending on the job role. So that's how I've seen it. And then going into the dashboard, so I kind of broke them down there were 4 different sheets, but I broke them down 2 by 2. So 2 dashboards in total. One was gender-based, strictly gender-based, and the other one was mainly talks about the attrition. So as I discussed before, the gender-based relationship pretty much with the performance rating and work-life balance in reference to a male and a female. A male has a higher number when it comes to work-life balance and performance rating, whereas a female is much lower, probably because more men work for this particular company. And then also, like I said in the graph before, this shows that this is a clear visual of, more men are dominant in this particular company. But you notice that these 3 positions, like a laboratory technician, a research scientist, and a sales executive, men and women are pretty high on those particular job roles. A lot more men work for this a lot more men hold this job role and a lot of women, but it's almost 200 when it comes to men as a sales executive versus like 100, like slightly over 130 when it comes to a female. Moving along, the relevance of relationships between attrition. So basically, I'm looking at this one on a basis of, because the last two we talked about attrition, so these two are combined with it. Like I made this one strictly about attrition. So as I discussed before, when you're a newcomer and your manager is leaving, the attrition number tends to be higher, whereas like I said, when you start developing more experience, the attrition number gets lower. And then down here, depending on the number of companies worked for, I believe that determines the attrition number. But then again, like I said, but I feel like it depends on the job role. It depends on the job role, and it also depends on that particular job role, how many companies that it has worked for. So I think that's what that's what it looks at too. Because as a manufacturing director, the attrition number seems to stay the same. It still is 1. So like I said, the numbers may be different when it comes to the job role and the number of companies worked with. So this concludes my Tableau assignment. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I did my best to explain what it was. Just enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good day.